Welcome. Today we will be discussing the things that are happening in Japanese politics. We will actually compare it to what is happening here in Iceland, and we will look at the new Prime Minister, if she will be a Prime Minister, and we will also be looking at the rise of Japan first and why is that such a big deal in today's political atmosphere. And Sanae Takaichi is the new face of the Liberal Democratic Party. She is actually quite an interesting politician. She was firstly elected to the Diet in 1993, then as an independent candidate, and then she joined the Liberal Democratic Party in 1996. She is also a former rock star. She used to play the drums, quite sort of patriotic in her politics and sort of right-wing. She doesn't believe in big government. Political idols, Margaret Thatcher and Shinzo Abe. The American, Taiwanese direction in her politics. So she is quite an interesting candidate as a prime minister. And of course, she's a woman. Japan is really male-based when it comes to leadership positions and so it could be historic if she would be elected. But what is actually interesting is that the party that formed the majority with the Liberal Democrats, they sort of don't want to participate anymore in that current government. So, what will happen? I don't know. The actually leadership of the opponents are actually forming a majority now. So I don't know what will happen. So at the end of the day, Japan just needs to find solutions to hitting the nation. The yen is weak, and there is actually a lot of tourists making a little bit of problems there. Pathis actually made a really good video about it. I recommend to go and watch that. Since the Komato decided to bail out, there's a little bit of a situation in Japanese politics, but they really want to form a majority. I think they would have the fringe party Japan First, which is the idea of foreigners, and they sort of want Japan to be only for Japan, and they actually gained quite a lot of seats in last election last year, and they actually expanded their group from 1 up to 15. So last elections, there is a reason why a party like this is actually growing among voters. I mean, when people feel sort of left out, they are not taken care of, and then a politician, the great ideas of like, yeah, let's put the people first and let's not, think about all the foreigners that are, coming in and causing us trouble and blah, 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 blah. Of course, the voter will think like, yeah, why not go with that? And with, of course, with the Japanese nation getting older, there's a lot of problem. As in many countries, there is a little bit of gap between the government and the people. So it is not really a great thing that is happening. But it will be interesting to see whether the opponent, parties will be able to form a majority, or the Liberal Liberal Democratic Party will form a new majority. It would be with the Constitutional Conservative Party, most likely. But we just have to wait and see. But she is an interesting politician, and I think the Western world needs to be on the lookout for what is happening in Japan. But, if we compare Icelandic politics to Japanese politics, I mean, Iceland is really, socialist, big government. The people want government sort of to live their lives. At least that's how I see it. And it's not really great. We haven't seen the Japan first sort of, sentiment growing popular, but the Center Party has been, picking the grounds in the type of politics. Actually, ever since they had their big meeting, and they actually got like caps that's Iceland first, or the people first, and then everything else, or something like that. But so it's kind of interesting. Our current government is really EU leaning, which is kind of sad. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs, seem to be more interested in big countries in war sort of communication, and she sort of she's always abroad, writing some contracts in our name. I wonder why all of those contracts don't have to go to the Congress before signing them. So I don't really understand what is going on there. The Social Democrats are the biggest party here. I mean, they are on the left, of course, but I don't know why they are so popular. I have absolutely no idea. But it will be interesting to see here. And, when it comes to the Liberal Democratic Party in Japan, what is the closest thing to it is actually the Conservative Party, or Sjálfstæðisflokkur, or the Independent Party. They proclaim that they are kind of conservative, but in the end of the day, it's all about money. So, and, society needs money, so what do? They just, so they want to bring in people to work, and so they say that they are hard on immigration, but I don't think they are. I think they are just a classical sort of centrist populist party, but I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think there is this confusion with the political parties here, because theoretically they could just collide into one, and everything would be the same, because it doesn't matter whether they are in opposition or the leading ship, because they want to turn things around that the other one said that they would, just because they are on the opposite side. It's just stupid. And in the end of the day, the funding comes from the taxpayer, and they don't really have to, they have to work in order to get, the funding, so they will get like 20% in election or something, then the funding will be according to that. But I actually think it's wrong to be in or taxpayer funded politics. It's ethically wrong, because if the political parties don't have to work for their means among the public, they have no position being there. I don't know, so what do you think? I don't really know how this will all end up in Japanese politics, but I will be watching, and that's it. Thank you for watching. if you could please subscribe to my channel, that would help this project out a lot. I have been actually working on this manuscript for quite some time, so these news are just happening right now. So yeah, if you want to help out the channel, please subscribe, and let's get up to 1,000 soon, or 500. Well, I appreciate everyone that subscribes to my channel. So Japan will find a way out, and they will be able to form a new government, and everything will be fine. Thank you for today. Bye bye.